Good morning, John. The missing list. I know you don't want to talk about it too much, but have you got enough for tomorrow night with the bench?
Oh yeah, we're fortunate really. We'd like to have a depth of first team players, and you look at other clubs and they're the ones that they can call upon, and then it's sod's law really that the ones who've got loads of players don't really get the injuries that we've had. But we've been fortunate that we've had the 23s supplementing us a little bit, and we've been able to get people playing, and they've been getting games, so we can always make a squad up, and we're trying to tweak that, and I think that's going well at the moment. We're trying to integrate them with the youth team, and maybe if we are going to have a 23s next year, that we pack it really with the lads who've been homegrown, and make this an attractive proposition to come to Accrington with a chance of progressing into the first team, which you've only got to look at the likes of Ross, Toby Savin, Dan Martin, Pickles is now knocking on the door, Leslie's had some game time, so the progression is the pathway's there, and we've got to maybe make that a bit more evident, a bit more bold, make a statement in how we structure ourselves from that perspective. And I did have the chance to, fortunately for us, our under-18s were playing at Bolton on Saturday, so I did manage to watch most of that game. I think I watched up to the last 85th minute, and so then you get a handle on who's coming through and what players you could earmark to having a chance. And I think that's what we've got to do with this club. We've got to try and grow our own players. We've got a good academy set up, which is the envy of other bigger clubs, I think. We've got a good recruitment process. I think Ashley's doing really well, Ashley Hoskins, who will be a former fan's favourite for his exploits on the wing. And he's doing a good job in identifying the youngsters coming through. And then it's for us then to have the opportunity to mould them, and I think the integration of the 18s and the 21 and the 23s, I think it's a good thing. I think it gets us all on the same page.
So would that be a sort of restructuring of the budget a little bit to make sure that side of it looks after itself more?
Well, obviously we don't know what the budget's going to be because we don't know what league we're going to be in, and that that could be a casualty of it. That we have to cut our cloth accordingly. I hear some bizarre statements coming out. It's easy to pick faults when you're not winning, and we've dropped into the relegation zone again now. And it's easy to pick faults and attach blame, and one of the latest ones I heard over the weekend, well, the squads has been at the expense of this wonderful facility. It couldn't be further from the truth. Me and Andy Holt have had dialogues from day one, where it's a constantly ongoing process, and I haven't been denied any players for the sake of this, so let's get that straight away. The simple fact is that if you're going to try and attract recognised players at this level, they come at a price that's out of our budget. So you get people complaining, we've lost to a team who are below us at home. That's an absolute shambles. And listen, we didn't play well on Saturday. Said listen again, sorry. We didn't play well on Saturday. I'm not going to make any excuses for that. But compare us budget for budget with MK Dons. Compare their top paid strikers with our top paid strikers. It's night and day. So we'll do our best, and we'll continue to do our best all along. What we've got here is a very, very well-run club that isn't going to go down the road or the route that other clubs have gone, i.e. going into administration, going bust. And so from that perspective, sometimes be happy with what you've got. Now that doesn't mean you want more. You don't want more, because I want more. And the big thing for me is staying in this league. That's on everyone's focus all the staff and all the players. But we're not going to try and guarantee that by putting the club's future at risk. I know Andy Hope wouldn't, and he knows I wouldn't encourage him to. So, as regards to budgets, we're very much on the same page, and we always will be. You know, we've got a model here that's been successful. What's happened this season, no one could foresee. You can't have the amount of players that we've lost. You know, you can say, well, it's your own fault losing players through suspensions. Then you see some of the bookings that we get, and they're ridiculous. So, yeah, to a certain extent, some of that's to blame, but some of it's out of your control. You certainly can't govern the injuries, the amount of injuries, the freak injuries we've had. And so, what you've got to do is just got to keep your head down and playing. It was as if on Saturday that was the final nail in the coffin. You've got 10 games to go. Anyone who knows Accrington knows that we'll fight to the bitter end. And it's difficult because everyone wants success within a society where people want success immediately. Instant gratification. You don't always get that, you know, and sometimes when you get something that you've worked hard for a long time, you appreciate it more. We've got a stable club at the moment, and we'll be stable whatever league we're in next season. Hopefully we'll be in League One. But if you want us to compete at a level where we're going to be touching the playoffs, you'd have to bankrupt the club. So there's no logic behind it. If we were getting 25,000 fans every week and we weren't matching that with wages, then I could understand people being upset. But we can't live beyond our means, and nor should we want to. People who've gone before us, you know, I'm just looking out there, the Eric Worley stands, and you know, people like Eric Worley, Peter Marsden, Elias Khan, Dave O'Neill, people who work behind the scenes, you know, Rob Hayes and that, they did wonders for this club not to go under and not to go into admin. And that's something I'm very proud of, and I've always been proud of that. The fact that if there was a club who should be earmarked for administration, it should be Accrington, but we haven't. And that's been down to a lot of hard graft by a lot of people. And then now we've got someone who's come in and put us on a stable foot, something that we've never been. And then people want to make excuses that, oh well, you're neglecting the team. He's not neglecting the team at all. Not for 1 second has he neglected the team. And there's just this thing at the moment with social media and public opinion that everyone's got to be to blame. It staggers me. It absolutely staggers me. At the start of the season, 4 teams have to go down. 4 teams will go down. And you're looking at teams like Oxford, who are spending an absolute fortune compared to us, and they're 2 points above us. MK Dons will dwarf us with their budget. And then you're getting to the, you know, Forest Green will dwarf us with the budget. But you're getting then to the reality of the teams who should be there are there. And if you fight and get out of it, like ourselves, Morecambe and Cambridge do, well then, good on you. Cheltenham are probably the one who's booking the tent at the moment. But that's the fight that you're in. And so, wait till the fight's finished before you start condemning people and start apportioning blame. Anyone who's seen my teams play over the years, or I say my teams, mine, Jimmy's, and the last 5 or 6 years, John Doolan's. Anyone who's seen our teams play know that we like to keep a settled side. And you've only got to go back to the year we won League Two. I mean, 17 games, we did make a sub, I think, for 14 of them. same team played. We only had to change the team because Chappie was in a car crash. We've been unable to pick the same team. I don't think all season. I think we might have done once or twice. But because of injuries and suspensions, that's being taken away from us. And that for me has been the key to where we are in the league. And why we haven't won as many games as we should have done and scored as many goals as we should have.
Do you understand, and I'm sure you do fully, John, football is such an emotional game. I mean, over the last 20 odd years, we've put microphones under your nose after a game which hasn't gone your way. And maybe if you look back on it or listen back to it, you think, if I'd have waited an hour, that interview might well sound different. Do you think there might be some people on social media who think they're a little bit happy with the trigger finger, a little bit quick, and maybe in the cold light of day go, I don't really mean that?
Possibly. You know, I was getting abuse hailed at me from the main stand as I was walking off the pitch. And some of the players were. Well, Schumacher was getting it during the game, which I think is unacceptable. And the same fella pulled me in the bar because, you know, I come in when we win, so I'm going to come in when we lose. And me and Andy Holt had a drink with some of the supporters and I chat with them. But one of the fans came up to me and apologised. Well, that's fine. I always try and empathise with people me and think, well, what would I do in that? I'm a football fan. First and foremost, I've always been a football fan. And I'll have my opinions. My team that I follow, obviously, is Liverpool. So I'll have my opinions what's going on with Liverpool and what they should do and that. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes at Liverpool, just as these fans don't know what goes behind the scenes here. But I'll have me things, I'll have me opinions and that. The one thing I've never got as a football fan, I've never got the concept of booing. Be it booing the opposition, be it cheering when the goalkeeper falls over, or the linesman or the referee falls over. Probably had a good laugh when I got clobbered the other day. But booing your own team and booing the opposition, I just don't get the concept of it. And maybe it's me. I don't see what you get out of it. I just don't see any positive feeling from booing someone. And I don't think I will till the day I die.
There is a theory, John, and I'm sure it's been put to you before actually, that this place now is night and day from what it used to be. There would be a lot of clubs who didn't like coming here back in the day and were pretty disrespectful and actually got changed elsewhere because they didn't feel that the facilities here were to their liking. Now that they are, what do you make of a theory to say, well, Accrington Stanley isn't the tough place it used to be to come to anymore? Is it a sense you can't do right for doing wrong here?
That's a load of nonsense. If we had all our players fit, believe me, it wouldn't be easy for any team coming in. And I know it's only pre-season friendlies, but you've seen all the big teams who came here in pre-season and how well we played when we had everyone fit. So that doesn't wash with me. I'd soon have a nice pitch and nice change rooms every day of the week. I don't care what the opposition thinks. You've got to detract the opposition by what you do on the pitch. This season we haven't been good enough at home. Not for the ones of trying. But simply the opposition have been a little bit better than us on quite a few occasions. But you should only judge us if we have the bulk of our first team playing, and we haven't at the moment.
The whole thing about this football club has always been a lot of togetherness, whether it's people collecting buckets, whether it's people behind the goal cheering you on. That when the year you won League Two, some fantastic scenes, John, and promotion from non-league as well. Just how important is it that everyone has that siege mentality now with 10 games to go, that you've been together through thick and thin and you still need that?
Oh, I know we've got it in there, that's for sure. And now and again we drop off it, but there's a lot more things that go into playing a game of football rather than just picking 11 players and going on the pitch. And the average fan isn't privy to that, and nor should he be, to be honest. You know, there's certain things that you'd have an open book, and there's certain things that, you know, are private amongst the players. I go back to when we won the Unibond Premier, and we went into the conference, and I remember Eric Worley being delighted, you know, going international football, and also a bit apprehensive. And we knew we'd won the league 3 or 4 weeks before. And me and Eric took in a conference game on a Tuesday night, and he was panicking, thinking, "Oh, we're not going to be at this level. This is going to be miles too good for us." I said, "Well, you'll never know till when we go in it, but we'll go in, and stick our chest out." And I think everyone was delighted we went into national football, and we started getting televised then because the conference games were on the TV. And we quickly bedded in, and we found our feet, and then the fans just become the norm. So, you know, where you were playing against Matlock and scrapping, because that was always a tough game, or Drickley's or teams like that. All of a sudden now the norm was playing your Wokens and your bigger teams, your Yorks and that. And the fans quickly got acclimatised to that, so that became the norm. And then the holy grail was getting Accrington back into the Football League, you know, going out of business 62. Ironically, the year I was born, and that was the holy grail of getting back into the Football League, and we did. And I thought this place was going to take off, because the scenes when we got back in, and then quickly the apathy set in. And whereas we were getting 3,000 for conference games when we were top of the conference, we're getting 900. And you know, we're here now, and this is where we are. And it can quickly set in once we no one gives us a chance of ever winning League Two, and then it can quickly set in again where you think, well, this is where we belong, and if we're not here now, something's wrong. Where will he stop? You know, if we get into the Premiership, should we stay in the Premiership? You know, we're not going to, very unlikely. But at some point, you're going to reach a level where you're constantly competing to stay in it. Now, we've competed the other way. You know, the season before last, I think, but for a couple of bad injuries, I think we might have made the playoffs. And we'll always compete. We'll always, whatever level we're in, we'll always believe we belong at that level because we've earned our right to get there, and we'll fight. But we're never blasé about the fact of where we are, and how much of a continual battle it is just to stand still in football. Sometimes it's horrendous, and if you look at the teams who on our journey to get to where we are, look at the Northwest. And when I left Accrington first time around, you had Rochdale, Oldham and Bury in League One, and look where they are now. So, you know, sometimes you have to have a reality check. You look at I know they're back on the up now, Stockport, but look at the Doldrums that Stockport went to. Stockport were a wonderful club, well-supported club. And how hard they've had to fight to get back to where they are. And so, you know, you see Wrexham on the up now. Teams who we could only dream of surpassing. And we did. You know, I remember getting beat by Wrexham, and I remember battering them here on a Friday night, winning 5-1, I think. And you're always looking at trying to better yourselves, trying to be better people, trying to be better at the team. But people have got to realise how difficult a task it is now when you're in such an unforgiving league, where money's no object for quite a few clubs. And the strength of their benches makes your eyes bleed, and are far better than, or on paper and certainly on budget, from what we can put out for our starting 11. So don't ever think for 1 second that we're going to throw the towel in, which that was the feeling on Saturday after the game. We're not going to throw the towel in, not a chance. And we've been surprising people for 20 years, 20 odd years, 20, 22, 23 years. We'll continue to do that.
You got some centre-back issues going into this game and at the weekend, of course, because Doug Thorne will miss 2 games, John. How much of an ask is it for Michael Nottingham to play Saturday, Tuesday, bearing in mind the season he's had?
We'll just have to see what he's like. The thing you know about Michael, he's got a big heart. Hopefully we could have Mo back as well, which would be a boost for us. And whoever I asked to fill them roles, I've got every faith in them. And if that has to be a youngster, so be it.
Plymouth Argyle, just how impressed have you been with Stephen Schumacher in his first managerial job?
Very good. I'm pleased for him, really. I mean, I always have a laugh and a joke about a hotbed of talent Kirby is. Normally it's the 2 European Cup winning captains and 2 world champion boxers, but Shuey's done an unbelievable job, ably assisted by Mark Hughes, who's a good friend of ours. And he's very, very level-headed. I like the way he operates. I like the little rules he's brought in for the staff to keep them on an even keel. And I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. And they've got good players. They've got a healthy squad to choose from. I think they feared it being a bit derailed because I think the goalkeeper was like their lucky charm, and I think that's maybe set them back a little bit. But they had an impressive win on Saturday, and they've still got a marvellous chance of going up automatically, which would be great for them 2 lads because they're good people, and great for Kirby as well.
Be great to hear some Stato tell us how many players you've signed at this football club, John, but I've no idea. But when you think of Mark Hughes as a signing, is he right up there with some of your best, do you think?
Without a doubt. We tried to sign Mark a couple of times actually, and knocked us back a few times. I don't know why I kept going for him, but and I remember him playing once against Everton, and Everton in a pre-season friendly, and we're thinking, that might have been a mistake. He got roasted a couple of times. But his experience over the years, the way he's brought players on, how instrumental he was in playing the style of football we wanted to play. I don't think we've ever replaced him really in that ball-playing centre-half who gets himself at the right area at the right time, throws his body in the way of everything he can. Great personality. Didn't really lead as a captain, but led by example more than anything. And very, very good. Great football, great passing football. And you think back to the days when he'd get the ball, and he'd get it wrong now and again, but the amount of times he'd pick Sean out with a 50-yard pass, and we're on the attack was frightening. And he is a good lad, and hopefully we can dent their promotion prospects tomorrow, but then wish them all the best from now to the end of the season.
And just lastly, John, can you just sum up the importance of this game, bearing in mind it's significant that nobody else in this area of League One are playing?
Yeah, it's massive. It's an opportunity to make some ground. And there'll be a lot of people who are prepared to write us off. I think history tells you, like Accrington off at your peril.